Hi everybody. If this is a little dark, it's because whenever I film towards the window, it does seem a little dark, but it's nice for a change. And it is so dark here. We had nothing but hot weather for weeks and weeks and weeks. And then all of a sudden this cold front comes through, and I'm sure you all go through this. This monsoon came and it poured, and now because we have fires northeast of us, south of us and north of us, and also west of us, we are covered in smoke. You can't see the lake, and it's like eerie dark. Anyway, I decided to visit you on this Sunday, and thank you for visiting with me. I appreciate all of you. So today is going to be about watering, humidity, and how to check and make sure yours is just right for you. So, where to start? Water. Now, I always use my tap water. If you live in a city, you can check with your city. They'll tell you how your water is. If your water is too hard, that is not going to be good for your orchids. Or if it contains a lot of salts, if you're on a water conditioning system, and salt is what you're using to make your water soft, the orchids will not like this. If you're using potassium chloride in your water conditioner, that will be just fine. But if you are have hard water, or you have water conditioner with salt, then osmosis water, rainwater, distilled water, or if you must, if you have no other choice, then you could use your tap water and then maybe have some distilled water or osmosis water to just rinse through after, just to flush it a little to get some of those salts out. But I use tap water, and I was at the thrift store where I seem to go occasionally, and I found some pH tags. They were $2 for the whole thing, and I didn't want to spend $70, or I don't know what they cost to check how hard my water was, because I did check with the city and it seemed pretty good. So I took one of these little strips out of here, and I noticed Repot Me had the same ones at their site. So they're just little pieces of paper. Let me show you up close. They're just little pieces of paper, and when you don't have to put them in your water long. You just kind of rinse them, let the water go on them for a little bit, and then check them against the color code on the container, and you'll find out which one matches yours closest. So I thought, well, I'm going to do that just for curiosity. And what I came up with was, ours was about 6 to 7 for hardness. So that's pretty good. I'm not going to complain about that. So this is another way, pick up just a few. You don't need a lot. I think the pharmacies sell, you can just get a few strips too. Right, because your water is probably not going to change that much. When your water does change, okay, this is how you did it from the tap, but say you want to know how it is after it runs through your pot. If your media is deteriorating, you might get a stronger content coming out. So that's another thing, but I don't worry about it too much. I always use the tap water, and chlorine. I hate chlorine, but there's a lot of talk and it's true. checked into some scientific sites. If you just put a pinch of vitamin C powder in your water, maybe your sink water or your cutlery bin water or your bucket, whatever you're using, just a pinch, that will remove the chlorine. You don't have to sit it overnight, and you're ready to go. Even for your own health, if you're having a glass of water somewhere where you know there's a lot of chlorine, and you just put a little vitamin C, a squish. When you go out to a restaurant, ask for a lemon with your water. Squeeze it in. Within seconds, you got nice, safe water to drink. And maybe the chlorine, I mean, that's not good, but then there's chloramines, and you read about all this stuff, and you think, oh boy, I think I'll have a lemon in mine. So that's just a little bit of things I've been reading about. Anyway, my problem with the watering is my little pots. As you know, we repotted this one last week. Now, I've done a lot of grocery store repotting videos, and I think of all the ones I've done, I've only lost a couple flowers, maybe or one or two pots. But this one had one flower going when I got it, and there's another one right in here. Whoop, there it goes. Other than that, it's doing fine. So I think those were original flowers because they're the back end, and I had to cut a lot of roots off of this orchid. It was not in good shape, but I see some new buds coming out. And this little pot, I added the brick in the bottom, and even though it had some floppy leaves, they seem to be going good, and I'm keeping my eye on them. So I'll just put this back. There. There's doves out there, and I just scared them. Okay, so my small pots, I added some brick to the bottom, thinking it might help with a little bit of humidity staying in the pot longer. Now, the brick, if it was the flower pot, that's going to wick and dry off very quickly. But inside the pot, it's going to be a little slower, but it's not going to be soaking wet. It's not going to wreck the roots. It's kind of, say you have a very dry area, and your plants are drying out real quickly. So you can add something with your bark. I don't like to use moss. Lots of people do fine with it. I just don't like to. I would rather do something else. My big pots have no problem going the week, but right now when it's been so hot, I've been giving them the 2 waterings a week, and that's more than enough. Now the small pots, because of the air holes, and they do dry out quicker, and I was dumping the bark out of this one because I wanted to show you, because I have a plan, and I like bark. Why do I like bark? Well, it always allows the water to run through freely, which is what you want. You will not get rotten roots, which is often what most people kill their orchids with, rotten roots. Inside here, it doesn't look too bad. Mostly, I'm straight fir bark from Rexius orchid bark. I forget where it is, Sin Estates. And I put in charcoal sometimes. That's pretty well it. I have used a bit of lava rock. Lava rock is fine, but just be careful if you're using lava rock to flush it just like you would if you've got fertilizer. You're fertilizing 3 times a week. The 4th time in that month, you're flushing it out to get the salts out. Well, this is the same with lava rock because of all the holes. It can hold on to a bit of salt, So it should be flushed out regularly. I'll show you a close-up inside my pot. Watering day is tomorrow. I hope you can see in there. So watering day is tomorrow, and it's dry. Now this pot's not as bad as some, but what I've decided to do, because my big pots do so well, is to switch some of my, see the new leaves are nice and firm. There's another one coming, but the other ones, and it could possibly be because they are drying out a little too fast in these small pots. So I'm going to switch them to bigger pots. And so then you talk about size of pots, type of pots. Now, I liked my roll cone, which was a heavy plastic with big holes. They're doing really well. So I'm thinking of a bigger pot. These pots are fine. I love these pots. Either a bigger one of these or a plastic pot. I'm slowly switching up to the bigger pot, which will hold the more humidity and still have the fast drainage, because it's just the small pots that I'm worried about. Now, if you are using the, let me see, I think Miracle Grow has them. They're orchid media planters. Now that's what I started out with, was just going in, because I just had 1 or 2 orchids, and I repotted them. Now when you pick up those bags, they don't want you to see what's inside, but pick them up and squish them and think, is there any nice size pieces? Whoops. Is there any nice size pieces like this in that box or bag? Because you want some nice size pieces, because those bags also have other ingredients that will stop the flow of water going through quicker than if it was just bark. But it will also not dry out as fast, and it's good for a beginner. But just remember, you'll probably be repotting sooner than in bark, because of it'll break down quicker. But I had very good success with it. Wasn't why I switched. I switched because I had so many, and I do like the bark. So that was the other thing I wanted to say. Now, so the type of pot, I just want bigger. I know bigger, for me, I have all kinds of pots. I have plastic, I have homemade things, and most of them are doing really good. So rather than worry about them drying out, I'm going to slowly be switching, and maybe do a repot video on some of them, to the bigger pot, which will hold more humidity during the dry spells, and I won't have to worry about them. But in hot, dry weather, they will still get their 2 waterings a week. Now, what else can you do for a quick fix for a plant that, if you see the leaves getting limp or you think it's struggling? And before, always check your pot. Like I did with this one, just dump out the bark or the media, have a good look at the roots, because, and a good time is just before watering day, because if that's the only way to really know. Some people, if you have all the same kind of pots, you can tell by the weight. But really, when you even if you just take a little bit of the bark out, you can see. Now, if they're looking desiccated and dry, those roots, you know they're drying out too fast. So watering day is coming. But if there's still some green ones and nothing's drying and shrunk right up and shriveled, you know your watering's good. You're watering tomorrow, you know you'll be fine. So the best way, and the same with watering too much, which is a big problem. you're better off not watering enough than watering too much. So if you just dump some of your media out, have a look. Now if those roots are getting mushy, then you're watering too much. They should look either silvery white or even green, but not mushy, soft, and ooey. I have new roots that look green, but the rest are kind of white, but natural and full, not shrunk. So you have to look at your roots, get to know your plant, just like a good friend. And so, but another thing you can do is take a cotton tea cloth and soak it in hot water for a few minutes, wring it out, and just take it and just wrap it around your orchid. You don't have to cover the orchid, but near the base of the media where the roots are, it will love it. And that will hold you for another day. Oh, it's been hot. You want to add some humidity, and the leaves, when we breathe out moisture. And the leaves have little, I don't know if I should call them pores or whatever, but they also breathe out moisture. I think they do a lot of it at night. But anyway, so this does kind of, it's a day at the spa for them, and it makes them feel revived and almost like they're in a jungle setting. So on a real dry day, and if you're worried about the humidity, give them a little nice warm cloth. Leave it on there for about 10 minutes and take it off, because it will cool down fairly quickly. So that's the other thing I do. And misting also is good. So all these things will help on a dry day, kind of them get over until now. Of course, it's poured with rain and we have humidity, so this is a good thing. And it's watering day tomorrow, so I know how mine are, but that's the best way to get to know them. So I think that's all I wanted to say. I'm going to take the camera and give you a little close-up of here and out on the patio, and then I'll say goodbye and thank you for joining me. It's always nice to have your comments, and any questions I can answer, don't be afraid to ask. I do not mind one little bit. So remember, we all love each other because we all love our plants, and that's a sign of really caring. So that'll be it, and I'll take you on a tour. Okay, here we go. So this is the one, its leaves are really nice. This is the one that lost all its leaves except two. And then it decided to get new leaves and flower. So we were very happy about that. And of course this is the new one. And there's a good look of the leaves. I'm going to be really carefully watching these small pots that they stand. But as far as losing flowers on repotting, I've never had that problem. Now here is the slipper orchid. It's slowly, and I mean slowly, coming up. But it's there. I had to stick a little butterfly on the stake because I kept reaching over it in the other room, and I've just put it in this window because it's so dark, trying to give it some light. But I keep reaching over it and hitting the spike, which is just, whoops, soldered onto a clamp so that it's all ready for it when it comes up. So you can see all the humidity coming down below from the fog or mist or from the house hydro. Yeah, I like those misters. They last a long time. And here's the sewer pot I just put in, and I think they're doing fine. There's some new little leaves coming. This one I'll be really happy when it gets a new leaf. And there's new leaves coming here too. So I think I'm going to be okay. So, and also there's the fogger mister in action. You can see. Lots of humidity comes up. And it's a cool mist because it's not a heated container. So we'll just head out to the patio to look at the orchids out there. Funny things going on around here. Okay, here we go. I don't have even the misters running right now because it's been pouring rain, and I misted them, as you can see. And this is Moonglow. Moonglow is getting, her new leaf is growing really fast. This one's almost ready. I don't take the leaves off until they're ready to come off. I might even start doing that with the flower stakes. I haven't decided yet. And so that's Moonglow. And the ones that this one might come off. Yep, there we go. Then take them off. But they're back there. They're doing good. And here's another one. So growing new leaves, and the old ones will come off. And here's my purple one that flowered for what, 6 months? Yeah, it's fine. Of course, it's in the bigger pot. It seems to be holding itself better. So it's 75 degrees. And the humidity is, we can get the humidity. The humidity is about 55 here. So, yes. Now, a surprise you didn't expect. We're going to go around and I have to show you Jimmy. He's finished, but the spot where he's going isn't finished. Come on, Maggie, you coming? Okay, see if we can get over there without the dog barking. Okay. Here we go. Surprise. Open the gate. So he's finished, but he's going in the back in front of a mural we painted. And that area is not ready yet. So we're going to have a motion detector that will come on and he will play music. So here we are. Here's his legs. And up. And playing the guitar. And glasses. There we go. Outside in the air, he should show up better. The hands were hard, but and then I'll come around to get you a side view. There's a side view. So now off to the smoke. Yeah, we cannot see the lake. Everything, and it smells terrible. Everything is smoked in. Yeah, it is smoky. Okay, everybody, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.